Imagine discovering that the most intimate moments of someone's life, the very fact of having children, might have been a lie, that the smiles, the milestones, the family photos could all be staged. And the person closest to them, someone they called a partner, might have been completely fooled. Erika Kirk, a woman whose public life has captivated thousands, now faces shocking allegations from a source you might never have expected, her own estranged half-sister. Claims have emerged that Erika never had children at all, that she faked her pregnancies, and that Charlie, the man by her side, might have been tricked the entire time. Whose children are really in those photos? What was real and what was carefully crafted for appearances? And how deep does this deception go? Before we dive deeper, make sure to like this video, share it with anyone who loves a good true crime mystery, and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from and what your first impression is of this story. Your opinion might be part of this conversation. Now, let's unravel the mystery, piece by piece. Erika Kirk is no stranger to the spotlight. To the outside world, she's a woman who seemed to live a life straight out of a public persona, a devoted wife, a mother of two, and a figure intertwined with a high-profile organization that amplified her image. On social media and in public appearances, Erika presented a picture of perfection, happy family, carefully curated moments, an unwavering commitment to the narrative she shared with the world. Charlie, her husband, was often by her side, projecting the image of a supportive partner, a loving father, and a man seemingly in on the life Erika carefully showcased. But, as we're about to uncover, appearances can be deceiving. Public records, social media posts, and whistleblower tips now suggest that what we saw might have been a constructed story designed to mislead and manipulate perception. Today, we're digging into allegations from Erika's estranged half-sister, Tanya sa agris huklamthing shocking, that Erika never had children at all, that the pregnancies we saw or were told about may have been staged. And if that's true, where does that leave Charlie? Was he truly part of this life, or was he an unwitting participant in a very elaborate deception? As we go through this story, we'll compare timelines, photos, public statements, and insider claims. We'll highlight inconsistencies and examine what might have been hidden from the public eye. By the end, you'll have to decide for yourself what is fact and what is fabrication. To the public, Erika's story was simple: a loving wife, a devoted mother, raising two beautiful children alongside her husband, Charlie. There were moments captured on camera, posts shared on Instagram, and interviews that portrayed her as a woman who cherished her family above all else. On the surface, it all looked genuine, believable. But as investigators and curious observers started digging, cracks began to appear. For starters, Erika consistently claimed she went into hiding during her pregnancies for privacy reasons. Strange, considering this is the same woman who openly documented deeply emotional and personal moments, posting grief over Charlie's death, merchandising at his funeral, and even replicating the site of his assassination for photos. So why the secrecy? If Erika was so public about grief and spectacle, why would she disappear for months without a single photo to prove her pregnancy? And more importantly, why is there now credible evidence suggesting that the pregnancies themselves may have never happened? Public records, documents from Erika's mother's divorce, and statements from her estranged half-sister, Tanya Segrist, all raise questions that are impossible to ignore. Tanya claims Erika faked her pregnancies entirely, And even the one ultrasound clip we have could have been staged for appearances. The story that seems simple as anything, but it's messy, contradictory, and Tanya's allegations are true deeply disturbing. From what we can see, Erika's life may have been a careful performance. The public narrative painted one picture, but private reality, or at least the one Tanya and insiders describe, tells a much darker, more complicated story. Let's start with the timeline. Erika claimed to have been pregnant twice. Yet, there is almost no evidence to back up these claims. No candid photos of her pregnancy exist. The only piece of visual proof a single ultrasound clip now appears. Suspicious undercloser scrutiny. For one, the sonogram reads Erika France instead of her known married name, Erika Kirk. Normally, medical records display the last name first. So why would this be reversed? Small details like this may seem minor, until you realize the story doesn't add up in multiple ways. Next, let's examine the children. Erika shared a photo claiming to prove her whereabouts on September 9th, featuring to children with their faces obscured. But according to public records, her son should have been roughly 16 months old at the time. In the photo, the boy looks closer to 3 or 4 years old. That's a huge discrepancy. And it raises a serious question. Whose children are in that image? Then there's the social media montage. She posted a positive pregnancy test, ultrasound footage, hospital scenes, and Charlie in the background. At first glance, it looks like undeniable proof. But when combined with the missing photos during her supposed months of privacy, and the odd naming on the sonogram, it suddenly doesn't feel like proof at all. It feels like a performance, carefully curated for an audience. And we can't ignore her own words. Erika has claimed she had C-sections for both children. Yet, in interviews, she now discusses wanting more kids, with no mention of any medical limitations. Little inconsistencies like this, repeated over time, form a pattern that demands investigation, not blind acceptance. Every timeline discrepancy, photo anomaly, and conflicting statement builds a picture of someone whose public narrative may not reflect reality. And the question that keeps coming up is impossible to ignore. Was Erika orchestrating a lie? And if so, who was it for? Let's take a closer look at the so-called proof of Erika's pregnancies. First, the ultrasound. A ci fa si value it sim frevais. But experts and investigators have pointed out multiple oddities. The label reads Erika France instead of Erika Kirk, and the formatting doesn't follow standard medical conventions. It's a detail that might seem trivial, but in the context of everything else, it's impossible to ignore. Then there's the video montage she posted, a positive pregnancy test, hospital scenes, and even glimpses of Charlie and Erika's mother, Lori, celebrating. To most viewers, this feels like irrefutable proof. But here's the problem. Nothing else in the public record corroborates these moments. No additional photos, no hospital announcements, no third-party verification. The evidence exists only in controlled content that Erika herself produced and curated. Now, the children. The photo sent to Candace Owen's team on September 9th shows 2 kids with their faces covered. But the boy appears older than he should be, based on public records. And in interviews, Erika predominantly references a daughter, almost never discussing the son. These inconsistencies may seem small individually, but collectively they form a troubling puzzle. Finally, her claims provide a critical insider perspective, She alleges Erika never had biological children. While unverified, this allegation aligns with the inconsistencies we've already uncovered timelines. Photographs and unusual behavior. And when multiple independent anomalies point in the same direction, it's impossible not to ask, could this entire narrative have been staged? Each piece of evidence raises more questions than answers, and that's exactly what true investigation demands. We aren't jumping to conclusions, we're examining facts, contradictions, and insider claims. And what begins to emerge is a story that may be far more complicated and far darker than anyone initially realized. Now, let's turn to the insider perspective, which is where this story takes an even stranger turn. Erika's Tanya Seagris has come forward with allegations that could append everything we thought we knew. According to Tanya, Erika never had biological children. That the pregnancies, the ultrasound footage, the hospital scenes, it was all staged. Every milestone captured on camera may have been a carefully curated performance. Tanya isn't just some internet commentator. Legal documents confirm her existence as Erika's older half-sister. Born decades before Erika, and despite their estrangement, Tanya's claims align with other inconsistencies in Erika's public narrative. The timing of pregnancies, the lack of photos, the odd naming on the sonogram. All of it starts to fit a pattern. It doesn't stop there. Anonymous sources, allegedly close to Tanya, have shared tips with public figures and online commentators, further suggesting that Erika's entire family narrative might have been constructed for appearances. One whistleblower even claims to have seen someone identical to Erika at a secret meeting just a day before a major event involving Charlie, a meeting that Erika herself has never publicly acknowledged attending. Charlie's role becomes even more complicated in this scenario. Was he an unwitting participant, completely deceived by Erika's performance? Or was he knowingly complicit in maintaining a story that, to the public, appeared normal and heartwarming? These insider claims don't answer these questions, but they force us to consider the possibility that the picture-perfect family may have never existed as we thought. The takeaway here is simple. When insider testimony aligns with tangible inconsistencies timelines, photos, public statements, it becomes impossible to ignore. And in Erika Kirk's case, the insiders are painting a picture that challenges everything we've been shown. If Erika's pregnancies were indeed fabricated, the next logical question is, why? What would be the motive behind staging an entire family life, complete with children, hospital visits, and social media posts? Some clues emerge when we examine Erika's connections and financial circumstances. Erika and Charlie were closely tied to a high-profile organization, with events, appearances, and even their wedding funded or supported by outside donors. Could maintaining a public image of the perfect family have served personal, political, or financial purposes? Perhaps it reinforced a narrative of family values, or even legitimized public support from donors who believed in their story. Then, there's the question of opportunity. Erika had full control over her public persona, her social media, and the content she shared. She could carefully stage videos, control access to her children or the appearance of children, and create an airtight narrative for public consumption. Meanwhile, Charlie, who appeared devoted and involved, may have had little insight into the mechanics behind these carefully constructed appearances. If he was unaware, it raises a chilling possibility that one partner in this marriage may have been entirely deceived. On the other hand, if Charlie was complicit, the motive shifts. Was it purely to protect an image? To maintain donor confidence? Or was there a more personal reason tied to power, influence, or control over the narrative? We simply don't know yet. What we do know is that motive and opportunity intersect in ways that make this story far from ordinary it becomes. A puzzle of deception, influence, and human behavior. The key point here is this: whether Erika acted alone or Charlie was involved. The inconsistencies, insider claims, and unusual circumstances create a pattern. That pattern demands scrutiny, and it forces us to ask the most important question of all: who was being deceived, and to what end? When we step back from the individual inconsistencies, a bigger picture starts to emerge. This isn't just about one woman's personal narrative, it touches on the very nature of public perception, trust, and influence. Consider the organization Erika and Charlie were tied to. Their public image was amplified by supporters, donors, and social media followers. If key aspects of Erika's personal life were fabricated, it raises a troubling question. How much of what we saw online, at events, and in public appearances was constructed for appearances rather than reality? And it doesn't stop there. Allegations like these ripple outward. They challenge assumptions about family values, authenticity, and personal integrity in public life. They force us to examine the power of narrative, how a single curated story can influence public opinion, manipulate emotions, and even potentially shield wrongdoing. If Erika was staging pregnancies and Charlie was unaware, it also introduces a deeply human element, the potential for betrayal, manipulation, and deception in intimate relationships. On the other hand, if Charlie was complicit, it suggests a coordinated effort to maintain a fabricated reality for personal or organizational gain. Finally, the questions extend beyond Erika and Charlie. They force us to consider the role of media, public scrutiny, and the audience itself. How much do we assume is real just because we see it online? And how easily can perception be weaponized in an age where images, videos, and social proof can be carefully controlled? This story, with all its contradictions, inconsistencies, and insider claims, isn't just a case about one family, it's a cautionary tale about trust, evidence, and the narratives we choose to believe. As this story unfolds, the public reaction has been intense. Social media is flooded with questions, speculation, and doubt. One viewer commented, "I don't believe she was ever pregnant. Something doesn't add up." Another wrote, "How could Charlie not notice this if the pregnancies were real?" These aren't isolated opinions, they're reflections of the growing skepticism surrounding Erika's story. Online forums and comment sections are full of timelines, screenshots, and detailed analyses as people attempt to piece together the truth. Viewers are dissecting photos, comparing video footage, and questioning every detail from sonogram labels to the ages of the children in her public posts. Even experts in digital media and social behavior are weighing in. Many note that curated content can create the illusion of authenticity, making staged events appear real. And in Erika's case, the combination of insider allegations, missing evidence, and inconsistent documentation has left many questioning the entire narrative. The public scrutiny only adds to the intrigue. Every detail Erika shares or fails to share is now examined through a lens of suspicion. And as more people analyze timelines, social media content, and insider claims, the number of unanswered questions seems to grow exponentially. This kind of reaction isn't unusual in cases involving high-profile figures and potential deception. It shows the power of the audience in investigating, challenging, and questioning narratives. And in the case of Erika Kirk, public engagement has become an essential part of the story itself. As we reach the edge of this investigation, we're left with more questions than answers. If Erika never had biological children, then whose children were in those photos? Were the milestones, hospital scenes, and ultrasound footage all staged for public perception? What about Charlie? Was he deceived entirely, or was he an active participant in maintaining a carefully constructed narrative? And if he was aware, what would the motive have been and why would he ultimately be removed from the story? How does this case reflect larger patterns of deception and influence in public life? Could this be an isolated event, or part of a much bigger system of carefully curated appearances? The inconsistencies in timelines, the unusual naming on medical records, the insider claims from Tanya Segrist, and the anomalies in public posts all point to a narrative that doesn't add up. And yet, without definitive proof, the truth remains just out of reach. So, we leave you with the questions. Was Erika's life a performance, meticulously orchestrated for an audience? Was Charlie a victim or a conspirator? And ultimately, what does this story tell us about perception, trust, and the things we take at face value? These are the mysteries that keep true crime fans awake at night, questioning everything they see, read, and hear. And in Erika Kirk's case, the answers may be far stranger than the story itself. This story, filled with contradictions, insider claims, and unanswered questions, reminds us that appearances can be deceiving. Erika Kirk's life, as we've seen, may not be as simple as it seemed. Every photo, every timeline, every statement deserves scrutiny, and that's exactly what you, the audience, are doing alongside us. If you followed along, now it's your turn. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think happened? Was Erika deceiving everyone? Was Charlie in on it? Or is there a piece of the puzzle we haven't uncovered yet? And let us know where you're watching from. We want to see how far this mystery reaches. If you found this investigation compelling, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow true crime enthusiasts, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into unsolved mysteries, shocking allegations, and hidden stories. Your engagement helps uncover the truth and keeps these conversations alive.